What is up? What is up? We are back in black in the building. You already know who the fuck I am. I'm your boy. Broke ass Warren G in a place to be and need a check as quick as anything. Since 2003, man, what is going on? What is going on? Man, shout out to everybody out there at the corporate plantation. Shout out to motherfuckers that's like, man, if these motherfuckers send me one more clown ass email about some bullshit that don't matter. God damn. Anyway, shout out to everybody out there that's at the corporate plantation, making it do what it do. Shout out to everybody out there that is handling business and knowing how to maneuver in and out of this system we call life, as I like to call it, the Matrix. Shout out to everybody that is anti-Cypher, but is pro-Morpheus. You know what I'm saying? When you be like, what do you mean anti-Cypher? Cypher was like, he wanted to take the blue pill. Morpheus tricked us, Trinity. Trust me, it's more ciphers out there than you think it is. So shout out to everybody out there that is melanated and highly favored. Shout out to everybody that is trying to establish a system of justice. We gonna get into a lot of shit today. I'm definitely gonna touch on a couple of subjects, and the first thing I'm gonna touch on is Damon John and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, RIP to DMX. But I'm definitely gonna touch on that because we need to get some things straight. I've reiterated it a couple of times, but I'm gonna jump right into that. But I just wanted to send a special shout out to everybody out there that's at the corporate plantation, going to that motherfucker every day in, day out. Shout out to everybody that is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Shout out to what was his name? Tashi, the brother that got choked by that police officer out here in Las Vegas. R.I.P. to that brother. Shout out to his mom. I forgot his last name. I think his name is Tashi. I'm gonna look him up though. But going through all this, people don't think that Vegas is capable of doing that, but there's some racist motherfuckers out here too. Racism is a system. It's a global system. Racism, white supremacy is an institution. It's just like college. And if you're not on code with that system, then you are public enemy number one, and that just always happens to be black folk. Shout out to everybody that checked out Dr. Umar Johnson's interview on The Breakfast Club. He was dropping some real jewels. You know, you may not agree with everything he says. There's some things it's not even about disagreeing. It's about taking the jewels and gems that he's dropping and using that to better your situation. You know what I mean? So shout out to that brother, and hopefully he gets his school built. And if he don't, then hey, you know, we just gotta move on from there. Shout out to everybody that's out there reading. I am getting further and further into the book, The Price for a Pound of Flesh. So I'm gonna try to talk about that a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about Andrew Brown Jr. And we're gonna talk about how the police was serving a warrant and they just ended up shooting him in the back of the head. I don't understand how that happens, but we're gonna get into all that. Hey man, everybody needs to stay studying, stay focused, and keep your circle tight. Don't have a whole bunch of dumb motherfuckers around that ain't trying to do nothing but hope and pray. Hoping is delayed disappointment. You have to take matters into your own hands, and we're going to talk about all that today. Let's get into it, man. Let me cut this clown-ass music down. Man. Now, before I get into anything else, I have to address Damon John and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, if you watch the funeral of the great prophet DMX, R.I.P., rest in power, a lot of people were moved by what he said, because for some sort of reason, everybody act like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan just walk around talking about, I hate Jews, and I want to kill them all. He never said any of those things. And I feel like everybody wants to paint him as the bad guy. I think it's interesting when you say, people say a lot of things about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but they never say he's a liar. They never say he's lying about anything. They always say he's anti-Semitic, but they never say he's lying about anything. And that's his belief system. If you want to be, let's just say you're in the middle. Well, that's his belief system. Just because the white Jewish community says he's anti-Semitic, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is. If you do the studying and you've read what he's read, just like for a black person to look at Albert Pike in the KKK, that's their belief system. That's not our job to go over there and be telling them, hey man, you can't say that. Say whatever you want to say, because at the end of the day, that's their belief system. But I just always find it interesting that anyone that even remotely congratulates the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan or says, hey man, that was really touching what he said. No, it's this anti-Semitic bullshit and people attacking you. Now, Damon John, you know you invested with these white folk. You know how they feel about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So why even do that? Just shut the fuck up. Hush the fuck up and don't even say shit. I don't understand these black folk. You know, they're in bed business-wise with white folk, but then they want to somehow, some way try to appease black people. Stop trying to please people and appease people and just, you could have sent the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you could have donated to the Nation of Islam. They would have never known. You didn't have to do that. This is what I don't understand about black folk. You want to give the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan props? Donate to the Nation of Islam. Donate to the Fruit of Islam. Write a check and donate. It's a lot of people that donate to them. You ain't got to be out there. See, people think it's only one way to support the Nation of Islam and say, oh, I'm with the Nation of Islam. No, you could donate. You could donate quietly. Nobody would have never known. But for you to go on there and say, oh, I was very moved how he spoke in different religions, and then people was attacking you, and then you was so cowardly, you just deleted the tweet, just like LeBron. It's like, y'all need to just stay in your lane and hush the fuck up and try and try not to please everyone, because what you're doing is you're confusing this younger generation. You're telling them that they shouldn't stand next to somebody like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and protect him and protect his words, and not just protect, investigate what he's saying. Y'all don't have to take his word for it. Why don't y'all go do your own investigation, do your own studying? Why don't nobody ever want to sit down and have an honest conversation with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Why does everybody want to poke fun and poke the bear and everything he says take out of context? That's what I don't understand. But when it's a white person saying all kinds of reckless shit, Joe Rogan and all the rest of these motherfuckers, Don Imus and all the rest of the motherfuckers, we just gotta go with it. They don't remove them at all. But they'll go dig up tweets from 10 years ago when it's a black person and be like, ooh, you know what I mean? And for all you black folks that are part of the LGBTQ LMNOP XYZ, remember, you black first, because they will discard of you when they no longer need you, period. Like Lil Nas X, they parade him all around and using him as a LGBTQ LMNOP XYZ billboard. And then when they no longer have use for him, he's not going to be around. This is just what happens to be popular right now and what they're trying to push. And they're basically trying to force feed a lot of that belief system onto black society. In my personal opinion, that's just my personal opinion. So it's always funny when you see celebrities stand next to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and then all of a sudden, it's like, sometimes, why don't y'all just not even stand next to him? Just shut up. If you like what he says and you appreciate the value that he brings to black culture, there's more than one way to support the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If you are in bed and in business dealings with the dominant white society, which damn near 99% of black people are, you don't have to. That's like going to your job, right, and saying, hey man, do you like what Farrakhan says? You wouldn't do that at your job. So why would you do that publicly where everybody's watching you? This is what I don't understand in the mindset of some black people. And I had to address that, because I'm looking at Damon John like, Damon John, what are you doing? That's like asking a black person to go into a meeting at his corporate plantation job and be like, well, I feel like the majority of y'all are racist. And I feel like you're not going to do that, because you're not going to put your check and your livelihood in harm's way. So I don't understand why he did that. Did he did that to bring attention, or did he do that to kind of like be a fire starter or a gaslighter, and then everybody could go attacking Farrakhan? What I don't get about people is, why don't anybody sit down and have conversations with him and publicize it and put it on TV? Nobody wants to have conversations with the NOI, the FOI. Nobody wants to have conversations with them, but all they do is sit back and criticize them. And if you say one wrong word about the white Jewish community and how they profit off of black culture and what they have done to black culture the last 20 or 30 years, especially in the hip hop community, you're ostracized. Look at Liar Cohen. He was able to go on the Breakfast Club and basically denigrate Professor Griff's name. As if Professor Griff was crazy. And what I didn't like about it was they should have let him come on in and defend himself. And that's what I don't understand, because it's like everything, as Master P said, what you think because you white, you right? Nah, man. Sometimes the battle ain't, it's not worth that type of a battle. As you get older, you should become more wiser and be like, man, nah, I'm not going to retweet this. I'm going to take 100,000 while I'm going to take 50,000 while and donate to the Nation of Islam. That's what I'm going to do. Ain't nobody going to know. And if they do know, tax write-off. If you're trying to protect your interests, there are other ways you could have supported the Nation of Islam than doing that. Then you almost making a mockery of it. And I feel like black folk in general need to stop doing that. Stop doing that. If you can't, look, at my corporate plantation, I remember a Caucasian, dominant society, suspected white supremacist. At the time, he was suspected, but I'm pretty sure he was like, what do you think about Colin Kaepernick kneeling? Because I think it's bullshit. I said, I don't watch football. And I wasn't lying, because I wasn't really watching football at that time. I was reading a lot, and I was like, I don't really watch football, so I couldn't really tell you what was going on. And I had a little inkling of what Colin Kaepernick was talking about, but I wasn't well versed in what was going on. I just knew from TV and Twitter and all this other stuff, right? So this dominant society person, he was kind of shocked because I guess he thought that was going to bait me into some type of an argument or something like that. And I was almost kind of like, I wasn't shocked, but I was almost kind of like, damn, do you think I'm that dumb? And I think a lot of black folk, we get so emotional, we want to react and not respond, which I always talk about. And then you know what I did? I did the Neely Fuller Jr. I said, no, I don't watch football like that. So what happened? What's going on? Tell me what happened. And then he kind of like started stumbling and fumbling over his words. And he was like, I just think it's bullshit. He's disrespectful to the flag and to soldiers and veterans. And I said, oh, so that's what happened. And then I said, so you know this to be true? Or, oh, well, they said it on TV. And I said, okay, well, fine. I still don't know what happened because I'm not, and I really wasn't versed in it, but it was so funny to see his reaction based off my response. And that's what you have to do. No, you don't go in there, well, I believe now, because all you're doing is putting a target on your back. You don't control that infrastructure at that corporate plantation. So why fight and get into petty bullshit with people that means nothing? It's a means to an end. So what you do is you just back and let them be emotional and react, and you just respond. And that's it. And as you get older, you'll learn. It saves you the headache and it saves you the time and the energy. So to my brother Damon John, stop, bruh. There are more than one way that you could support it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, you didn't have to do that. Because basically what you did was make a mockery out of DMX's funeral and the good words that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said at the funeral. Now, Viacom owns BET. This is what's so crazy and what people don't get. Now, you heard me say all that. I want you to listen to me clear. Viacom owns BET, VH1, they own Nickelodeon, they own all that, Nick Cannon. So they own all that. Viacom owns BET. So with that being said, if Viacom is owned by, what's his name? Sumner, or a white Jewish man? So if they didn't want the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to speak at DMX's funeral, they could have easily told the head of BET, we're not airing anything he says on TV. That's what they could have done. But Viacom and the white Jewish community, they're so smart, they don't even have to say anything. They know their minions are going to attack him at every turn because they've set it up that way. They've set it up that way. So that's why I didn't understand why Damon John, why would you do that? What you're doing is placating into what they want. They want theater. They want motherfuckers to get up there and act like they stand with them, but you know you got business ties with a whole bunch of white folk, particularly white Jewish people, and they know they'll cut ties with you, and you know that. You don't want to lose your bread, so why even do that? You could have saved yourself the trouble, the time, the energy, and not even done that. But what you're doing is you're giving the wrong impression of what leadership looks like. And you may consider yourself an investor on Shark Tank, but really you're a guppy. You're not a shark, homie. And your business dealings are all entangled with the dominant society, just like your average worker at the corporate plantation. So it is very imperative, in my personal opinion, that young black folk do not look to Damon John and Fubu and all them for leadership. If you want to look to them for business mindset and business skills, fine. But as far as being an actual leader, no, he's not. He's not independent. He's not separate from them. And he's exactly like you are at the corporate plantation. Y'all need to stop looking at these people that got money and act like they got freedom. They don't got no fucking freedom. They just like you and me at the corporate plantation. They got to watch what they say at the job. They got to watch who they stand next to, who they're branded with, who comes into their brand. Y'all need to understand that. And stop allowing these people to be your thought leaders. You be your own fucking goddamn leader. The leader is in you, not them. So it didn't disappoint me. I'm just more irritated. Like, dude, you're distracting from the great message that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was trying to convey. So I had to get on that topic, man. I'm sorry I took a minute, but it was very imperative because, especially black folk, we need to understand, man, that you're not getting another Farrakhan. This is it. So you better savor every moment, every speech. You better listen to everything he says because this is it. You're not getting this anymore. There won't be another Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Like there'll never be another Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We still talk about him to this day. They still talk about it. They still play interviews with J. Edgar Hoover probing Malcolm X. We want to know what Elijah Muhammad's next plans are. Because they were so mad at him because he was so cold with the business game. And then they try to dirty up his name and use your own people to besmirch your name. So it's like, we got to start savoring and having intrinsic value. It's not about you being a Nation of Islam and converting to Islamic faith. It's about you having intrinsic value in the message that he's bringing. You know what I'm saying? And what he's trying to convey across black folk. That's all. Because in these times, look at, I'm going to play some audio footage of Andrew Brown Jr. and how they raided his house, and they was kind of described, they shot this brother in the back of the head. It's like, damn, you got Isaiah Brown, motherfucker gave him a ride home, then shot him 10 times, but y'all motherfuckers wanted Joe Biden and fucking Kamala Harris. Now, where the fuck are they at? How many times have I been telling y'all before Dr. Umar Johnson's interview on the Breakfast Club? I said, the nigga told Charlamagne the God, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. But he never specified what his specific agenda was for black folk. But he doing all these wonderful things for every other racial group. The Asian hate crime. He signed that executive order ASAP. You doing everything for every other racial group but black folk. But you come among black folk talking about, if I've done more for the black. No, you have not. You've done more harm than good. You better go read the new Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Go read the book. Here's the thing, man. When black folks start having intrinsic value in each other, things are going to change. That's why it's important, in my personal opinion, to support black businesses. Circulate your money. It is difficult when you weren't taught that. Let me tell you something. Growing up in Los Angeles, California, yes. Los Angeles, California. Shenandoah Elementary, don't get it twisted. That's exactly where I went to elementary school at, and never forget it. And Playboy Gangster and Playboy Hood. That's where I went to elementary at. So growing up over there and then going to church, we saw a lot of different religions. AME, Presbyterian, Nation of Islam, but we never supported them. You know why? Because it's not taught and it's not socialized. You're socialized to worry about your own. You're not socialized to make that money bounce 10 times, 15 times, as Dr. Claude Anderson teaches. You know what I mean? But you got to give Reverend Fred Price props because he had Dr. Claude Anderson at his church in the 90s. I didn't even know this. I was in California, going to LA every damn day almost. I didn't know about no damn Dr. Claude Anderson. But these are just things that you need to understand, because once we start having intrinsic value in each other, you don't got to get along with each other. Man, I support black businesses. Some black businesses, maybe their business acumen ain't up to par. Still support them. You ain't never heard me shit on them. You'll never hear me shit on no black business on my platform, because that's divisive. And black people, for some sort of reason, they get power from shitting on another nigga. It's like, God damn, man. You don't hear the white Jewish community shitting on each other. They can't stand each other, but will do business with each other to make that dollar circulate. They have shit in place to make sure if in their community they're running a corporation and another Jewish family moves into it, they may not even get along with that Jewish family, but I guarantee you they're going to get that Jewish family kids a job at that corporation, because that's a part of the infrastructure of being a white Jewish person. That's how it works. Now, it's probably a lot different for black folk down south in East Coast than it is West Coast. West Coast is a lot of Hollywood talk, a lot of our downhill bullshit out here. And those are the things that I feel like we need to get away from. Because while we up here fighting each other, they shoot niggas in the back of the head. I mean, they pulled up like these was the Jump Out Boys for real. They did some Breonna Taylor shit. Then you got the man that gave the other brother a ride home. First of all, police officers don't give rides home. Like I said on my last podcast, they don't give officers ride home. So you gave him a ride home, then you went back to the house and shot him 10 times. Probably hoping that you killed him, so case closed and dismissed. And these brothers ran up on Andrew Brown and just, assassinated him. Now they about to start putting everybody on leave because it's all national news. Let me tell you something. Justice is murder. That's what it is. Because really, you can't get justice if somebody is dead already. How do you get justice? If that's the case, ask Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray. Sandra Bland, Oscar Grant. Come on, man. They got video footage of, just like Ma'Khia Bryant. You know, like I said on my last podcast, we can say whatever we want. Well, that could be your daughter. Okay, well, you better stop saying that shit, because your daughter might be in a predicament too. And then when she's in a predicament, you're going to be looking at law enforcement a whole lot different when she gets fucked with. See, we have to stop. Oh, but what if it's my daughter? To try to justify anything. If the cop is wrong, the cop is wrong. Excessive force is excessive force. These race soldiers are not looking at black folk as human beings. They're looking at them as animals. Like they're in the fucking Sahara Desert and they're getting ready to go hunting tiger and bears and all this other shit and lions. They don't look at us as human beings because they don't care, because they know there's really no value in our life unless we're playing sports or entertaining them. In the first Hidden Colors, Nas said, he's my favorite rapper, and Nas says he was on a yacht with Tommy Hilfiger, and Tommy Hilfiger was like, dude, like, what are you doing on this yacht? And Nas was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I'm sure. He's like, oh, you're like not performing or anything? Because they don't see you as regular people that got money. They see you as, oh, well, you're a performer. There's no way you got that wealth on your own. You're a nigger. You had to perform or do something to get the money. So these are just things that you got to look at. Now, I'm going to play some of this audio, and we're going to break this down, man. Let me cut this music. We're going to break this down, man. I want y'all to hear this shit. This is CNN, by the way.
Video emerging, showing some of the final moments before Andrew Brown Jr. was killed during an encounter with law enforcement. CNN has obtained video that a source says shows sheriff's deputies arriving in a pickup truck to serve a warrant on Brown last Wednesday.
They serving a warrant. They serving a warrant. Ha!
As part of a drug.
Oh, a drug warrant. A drug warrant. Oh, a drug warrant. Didn't y'all say just say no? After y'all brung the drugs into this country illegally and flooded the black communities with crack, and now y'all flip it and tell us just say no, and then you flip it again, and here comes 94 Joe Crime Bill Biden, who fucking institute a fucking law that put over 550,000 black folk in prison, and then y'all voted for this motherfucker, and then now all these black people are getting slaughtered on his watch, and that motherfucker ain't even looked at black people. He don't even give a fuck that y'all even here, but y'all voted for him though, because we just want to get Trump out.
Task force probe. They move in quickly, shouting commands as they arrive. Soon after, Brown was dead, shot in his car as he tried to flee, his family says. More new video, obtained exclusively by CNN, shows the moments after as deputies surrounded his crashed car. Tonight, the FBI confirming it has launched a civil rights probe.
Oh, God. Let me break this down to you. Let's break it down in corporate plantation form. You get called a nigga by a white supremacist at your corporate plantation job. You report it to your bosses and managers and directors and human resources. And what human resources do is they have your manager or director do the investigation. And what does your manager and director look like? They look like them. They look like the person that called you the nigga. So what do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to get off cold because of you? No. So they're going to have no finding. And then guess what? Now you are public enemy number one. And now they really going to do everything within their power to get you up out of there. So what you would have to do is play victim, because you are, every black person is a victim of racism, white supremacy. We are prisoners of war, according to Neely Fuller Jr., and I believe that. We are prisoners of war because you can't do anything right anyway. So when they tell you, oh, it's going to be an FBI investigation, who ran the FBI for 40 years, ladies and gentlemen? Who ran the FBI? This man right here, J. Edgar cross-dressing over. So why would you even believe that they were going to find anything that would even benefit black folk when J. Edgar Hoover was the goddamn architect behind COINTELPRO? Stop.
Into the incident, and the state's governor calling for a special prosecutor to handle
a special white supremacist. So a more lenient white supremacist to come in here and let's see what's really going on. Really, they're not going to find shit.
Decisions on whether to bring criminal charges in order to ensure public confidence. Now, 6 days after Brown's death, 7 deputies involved in the incident have been placed on administrative leave.
So they're getting paid right now. They're all getting together to get their stories correct. They're going to stand behind the police union. There's going to be no finding, and then they're going to all resign if there is finding, because somebody on the inside of the police union is going to say, hey, just resign. You can keep your pension, you can keep everything, and you can go work somewhere else. And then you won't have to worry about being prosecuted because this is getting too much flack. That's what's going to happen. Let's bet.
2 others have resigned, and 1 retired. And despite...
What did I just say? 2 others resigned. So they knew. So the police unions, let me tell you something. The police unions have more power than the actual police. So the police union is like, just resign. You can keep your pension, you keep everything, and you can go work somewhere else. And this shit will blow over, and somebody else will do some stupid shit. Don't even worry about it. Just resign. We're not going to put your picture out there. You're not going to know what deputies, who did what. They're never going to put that information out there because there's laws to protect them. So you can't get to that information. And they're not even putting out all the video footage of what's happening because they're white and you're not.
Mounting pressure, officials are still not releasing body camera footage of what happened, instead only showing the family a 20-second...
What did I just tell y'all? What did I just say, man? They're not going to put that footage out. They're going to hide that shit. They're going to be like, we'll bring us a court order and then we'll release the footage. They're going to do a Rahm Emanuel. Oh, my bad. Barack Obama's homeboy.
Clip behind closed doors.
First initial shots were through the front windshield.
According to an independent autopsy commissioned by the family, Andrew Brown was first hit in the arm by 4 shots. Then,
as these shots were coming into the vehicle, he was able to back up, turn the vehicle around, spin off across a vacant lot, and at that time, he was hit in the back of the head.
For a drug warrant? Man, well, we know he ain't Pablo Escobar. We know he not El Chapo. For a drug warrant? Oh, my God. Not he done shot 10 people and killed them. Not he done raped some children, but a drug warrant? And you go in there and shoot the kid like you did fucking Breonna Taylor? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Where's your boy Joe Biden at? Where's Kamala Harris? All you AKAs and all you sorority motherfuckers worshiping the Greeks when the Greeks were worshiping us the whole time?
Here, and that is the fatal bullet wound.
The report says the bullet entered the back of his skull.
It's obvious he was trying to get away. It's obvious. And they gonna shoot him in the back of the head. Man, that's not right. That's not right at all, man.
I agree. That is not right. And you don't need to be shooting somebody in the back of their head. It ain't that deep. But again, most police lovers will be like, oh, well, they're trained to kill. They were in fear for their life. That's what they're going to say.
Release the tape. The real tape.
The family, protesters, and civil rights advocates calling for all body camera videos to be released to the public.
We don't know what the video is going to show because they ain't shown us nothing.
Still, some experts are warning about the policing tactics it could show.
And if he's trying to drive away and you didn't stop him, then you let him go. You regroup.
Man, that's what I'm about to say. Just let him go. You'll get him the next time. To me, they make it seem like he's the last drug dealer on earth. We got to get him. It's because if we put him away, there's no more drugs that's going to be in the community. Go watch Meth Storm on Showtime. All these white meth addicts that's just doing a whole bunch of drugs the whole time. And it's to nobody's knowledge. It's out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Nobody even knows that this shit exists. And I watched this shit and it fucked me up. Because they, and when I mean they, I mean the dominant society and the media, they're so good at framing this picture that only black folk be on drugs and only black folks sell the drugs. That's why they took cops off too, because of all the excessive force, and too because cops is going to show you how they treat white criminals versus black criminals.
Come up with another way.
Gentlemen, be able to tell us what you were looking for in there?
No, sir.
Late today, agents from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation searched Andrew Brown's house for security cameras, according to his landlord.
They was informed that there were cameras at the house prior to the incident, and right after the incident, there were cameras there. but they noticed that the cameras are gone.
Yeah, because somebody stole those cameras and I believe the law enforcement took them, just like they did with Laquan McDonald. If y'all don't, go look up Laquan McDonald's case. When Laquan McDonald got massacred, because they said he had a knife, okay, but y'all got guns, and they massacred him. They assassinated him. They lynched him, a public lynching with a gun. They went to every fast food restaurant that had a camera. They went to Burger King. They went everywhere, forcing these people to give up the audio and the video footage, so nobody could release it. And then Rahm Emanuel, Barack Obama's homeboy, told them, don't release the footage because I'm trying to be reelected. So don't release the shit until after I'm reelected, then we can release it. That type of shit. But this is the shit that go on. But y'all want me to believe in the system? Please, I would never believe in this system. This system is corrupt. It's vile. It's vicious. And the dominant society, a.k.a. white supremacy, made this system up. So why would I believe in it?
You know who might have taken them?
No, sir.
Wow. That's funny.
At what point does America start to look at policing and go, whoops?
Let me tell you something, man. These are just things that we got to know, we got to understand, we got to look at, we got to know what it is. We can't have this mentality like, oh, well, they're just doing their job. Stop. Meter maids do their job too. But sometimes if a meter maid catches you before they can write the ticket, they'll just let you go. So stop it. They don't see us as equals. They see us as animals, stock, commodity. We were the first stock and commodity on the stock market. Us, black folk. That's how they treat us. That's what I'm learning in this book, the price for a pound of flesh. Oh, man, some of the inhumane things they was doing, especially Nat Turner. Oh, man, they skinned him, and some people used his skin as a purse, and they was selling his skull and trading it around different states. Oh, man, they just, and when they first killed Nat Turner, the medical community wanted to get their hands on his body so bad because they couldn't believe that he revolted. So they wanted to, let's research his brain to see exactly why he acted the way he acted. Why did he want to revolt? Because something has to be off in him that he didn't like slavery. That bullshit. It's the old slavery by another name. Hey, man, my slave owner left this property to me. No, he didn't. We're deeming him insane because ain't no white man gonna leave no nigga no fucking property. So no, it's our property. It's been awarded to the state. We just wrote a new law that deemed him insane. So you're not getting shit, nigga. So get the fuck away from me. That's what it is. But hey, man, that's my time. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Hey, man, go do your own research. Like I said, if you don't like what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying, go do your research first before you just listen to what somebody else is saying. Because it's easy to take what somebody else is saying because you like that person. But go do your own research. Go study. Go read the books. Go read The Fall of America. Go read and study about the teachings of the Nation of Islam before you just sit up here and start talking shit. See, I don't do that. I read The Fall of America. I read How to Eat to Live, and I was sold. I was like, all right, these brothers know they shit, man. I ain't said shit. Because after I read How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and then I watched this documentary called What the Health, everything that was in his book was in What the Health. And What the Health came out 30 years after this book. So after that, I said, oh, well, I definitely ain't finna say shit. I'm just not finna say shit. It's a very good book. Sorry. People may not like what's in it, but oh well. That's life. It's not about you having a belief system in what you read. It's about you gaining a different perspective. So, hey, man, that's my time. I appreciate everybody out there listening, subscribing. If you fuck with the channel, fuck with it. If you don't, you don't. I understand. My shit ain't for everybody. I don't have no gimmicks and no bullshit, and I'm not going to make no mockery of what the fuck we got going on. There's too many other people out here doing that, and I don't need to do that. And I ain't trying to be famous anyway. Each one need to teach one. Go read, study. If you don't do nothing but read 5 minutes a day, it's a lot better than reading no minutes a day. And don't let nobody try to tell you about investing in the stock that ain't invested in the stock. So if they ain't got no heavily money invested in the stock, don't let nobody tell you about trying to diversify your portfolio and trying to do something different for yourself. Stay in your lane. Y'all hear me say this every time. Stay in your lane. Don't worry about nobody else. Just stay in your lane. That's your lane. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. You can't control what they're doing. You can only control what you're doing, what's right in front of you. Become introverted and compartmentalize your frustrations. Respond, not react when you're dealing with the dominant society and suspected white supremacists at these corporate plantation jobs, because I feel in my heart it is their vision and their goal to get every single free-thinking foundational black American off these corporate plantation jobs and get a whole bunch of Buck Deads and Sambo telling about the gun line, Hayward Shepherd, Steve from Django, motherfuckers at the job, because that's what they want. Hey man, y'all stay strong. Y'all know what it is. And if a motherfucker talking about, I don't see color, and you know, what about black on black crime? Guilty, nigga. I don't fuck with you, man. I'm out. Peace.
Blackvote.